What up, CagesideSeats.com, best damn pro wrestling community on the interwebs. It's your boy Sean. I don't care if Gino doesn't like that intro. I'm still your boy Sean. I'll always be your boy Sean. And today I have a very, very small cast of Cageside Speaks. We have the founder, the originator, the man behind the man that makes it all happen. And today, the man that got stood up by 3 or 4 different people, KM Tierney.
I'm the third or fourth choice here. Hello, everybody.
First, we're going to call you first alternate. They don't need to know the truth. And we also have Finn Balor's greatest fan, my occasional nemesis in the NXT comment section, Brigade 17, or we're allowed to call him Alex. We cleared that all up ahead of time. So
yeah. My name's Alex. How's it going?
There you go. He's got. We're a little, we like to have people on cam. We like to get to know everybody, have eye-to-eye contact. But, if you're going to bring a 8-bit or 16-bit, Finn Balor with a demon shadow, we'll allow it.
Well, I have a webcam on my laptop, but it just wasn't, I couldn't get it to work properly. So I was like, you know what? Next best thing, work the gimmick.
There you go. Actually,
there you go.
The gimmick.
Yep.
All right, so today we are here to talk about, we'd like to do one of these things. We try to work in some different ones, but we always try to do it after a pay-per-view show to discuss what happened at that show and, and how we see things going up into the next one. That's how WWE books things, so that's how we book things. So last Sunday was Night of Champions, which was a show that got some mixed reactions, I think. Everybody seemed to like the Raw that came after it more. But we had some kayfabe developments. We also had some real developments going on with Sting's health and some news about Daniel Bryan's health, maybe. So we're going to cover all that stuff and just see what we think. So I hope you like it and comment along, and we'll jump in there and comment back at you because that's what we do. So where do you guys want to start off with? I think the first thing that was on Kevin's agenda was the in-commercial announcement about Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker for Hell in a Cell, which ties into all those health issues I just alluded to, because we're looking at another 50-year-old man getting into a main event-style WWE wrestling match, the kind of thing that just might have ended Sting's career. So what did you guys think? Are you excited for more Lesnar-Taker, or are you just shocked that we're getting it before WrestleMania? What do you think, Kevin? This was your topic. What do you think? Lay it on us. Anybody still with me?
I'm still with you.
All right. It looks like, I don't know. I thought he was just wrapped by my delivery, but it looks like he may be frozen.
There we go. He's back.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, yeah, all right.
I was offended by the way that this was introduced, and I just had to leave. I can't believe they introduced it by a fucking video package.
Yeah, anytime you have any kind of Lesnar news, you put Heyman in front of a camera and let him do his thing. It's the only way to do it.
And I guess I also would want to ask, why is this in a cell? I mean, did somebody go and ask for that stipulation? Did the authority just decide, oh, hey, we're putting this in a cell? How do Brock and Taker feel about that? Where is this all going? Or did everybody just go, oh, fuck it, we're just going to put it in a cell, see what happens, and introduce it in a video package?
I mean, it's a pay-per-view with the name. That's kind of their reasoning. And I'll tell you, I was not happy that we were getting an Undertaker Lesnar rematch at SummerSlam. I was not happy we got that match at WrestleMania 2 years ago. Like, I didn't even want to see it then. So you can imagine how I feel about the third go here. I mean, like, you have a part-timer and you have a 50-year-old who, I mean, you can't even call him a part-timer. He works, I guess he can now, but he worked once a year for a couple of years here. And you just pair them together. So, I don't know. I feel like they're not doing anything to get the rest of the roster over. And you could have had an opportunity with both of those guys, and they're just kind of. I mean, this is their match to sell their pay-per-view and do ratings and all that stuff, and it's the same stuff from WWE's been for a while now, and I guess we just kind of pray that Undertaker makes it alive through this thing.
I guess there's also the fact that they had this fight at No Mercy back in 2002. That was actually a very good Hell in a Cell, but I fear all it's going to do now is it's going to draw comparisons to 10 years have passed, or 13 years have passed. Brock is a different guy, but still can go. Taker is noticeably different than from when he was in 2002.
Yeah.
And I think you can't just. There's going to be people who make those comparisons, especially the casuals who this is obviously aimed at. They want to bring it back. Well, they might remember that 2002 brawl, and then they'll see this and go, well, this is nothing like it was then. Why not? Let's just go watch the No Mercy on the WWE Network instead.
I think there's definitely a little bit of truth there. I think it may be, people keep remembering, oh, yeah, this was a really cool match back in the day, or if they even watched back then. And they'll see a much, I'm hoping a much more protected version of that match.
Yeah,
but, I will give WWE credit. The story between them up until announcing the pay-per-view, how they have, has been pretty good. It seems like it's like the only story they really want to put some effort into. But again, I've not been really wanting it. I've enjoyed it from just from the seats, just kind of passively, but. I don't know how I feel about this third one.
I guess I'm going to be interested in seeing how much WWE pays attention to that 2002 history, because that was an extremely violent match.
I will be very surprised if they care about that at all.
Or if they're going to go like the Lesnar-Cena 2012 thing, where they more or less just, when they bring it back up several years later, they completely forget 2012 happened. Are they more or less going to treat it like 2002 didn't happen?
I think they'll probably mention it, because that was part of Heyman's spiel going into SummerSlam, was that Taker hasn't been able to beat Brock, but I bet they don't. I bet we don't get. I mean, I don't know how they show clips of it. I mean, I think they have to sort of dance around that. But isn't that? I mean, what I was going to ask is, isn't that sort of the knock on the whole Hell in a Cell concept in 2015? Is that for a PG company that goes to black and white and has the refs put on gloves as soon as somebody gets accidentally cut? Is this a good concept pay-per-view to even still have around for anybody?
Well, we had we had the Rollins Ambrose cell match, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That one was executed about as well as you can in this era, where you're not just bleeding all over the place, and they had some high spots, and they had a lot of decent wrestling in it too. Yeah, but you're not talking about Ambrose and Rollins in the ring, are you, for this? You're talking about Lesnar and a guy who, I don't know how many bumps he can really take. So I think they're going to have to rely on something else, and I'm not sure what that's going to be. But yeah, as a whole, this concept for a match, it's a little bit outdated, and it needs to be much more rare than just a yearly pay-per-view. That's not going to be what it used to be. But we don't really want it to be what it used to be. That was some crazy stuff has happened in those matches.
Is there another match? I think last year they also did Cena Orton in a cell, which was nobody even remembers because it was just another Cena Orton match. It just happened to be in a cell. Is there another feud this year that deserves this stipulation?
I would say I don't think they're going with that. I would think Reigns and Wyatt would have the potential to, or hell, even better, have a tornado match with all of those guys in the cell. That would certainly warrant it. I don't think they're going to go with it.
That would be the feud. Because you get to keep Braun Strowman out of the ring, which is kind of what Reigns would want at this point, because we've established that guy can choke out anybody on the roster.
Oh yeah, we'll get to big ass McStrong man in a bit.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes logical sense for Reigns. Wyatt he's always clearly been up to the challenge to go a step further than most people would go, and that's probably the only one I can think of that would really warrant that. And, I think Reigns and Wyatt could go and make that match pretty good.
What about Rusev Ziggler?
Please no.
I will read for the audience.
That was kind of that.
I'd like to read for the audience my notes for Rusev Ziggler that I sent to everybody. Rusev Ziggler, what are these two doing? Are they going to loud fart noise? Okay, moving on.
I liked that. I guess the only way you could do that and make that work is you put a fish on top of the cage and say, okay, take the fish.
Cold fish on a pole. Oh, dear. All right. So Kevin, I mean, do you agree with Alex? You're not that. Are you? What are your feelings about Lesnar Taker 3 in this mythology or 4 in the larger mythology, or however you
I
want to
think
look at it.
it's a good story as it is. I think after their match at SummerSlam, they've earned the right to have a proper blow off to this feud. I am very happy that it's not going to be blown off at Mania. I think right
Yes.
now, if they're wanting to tell the story that there's this big blood feud, you can't just let that blood feud chill on ice for 6 months, snap your fingers, and go, oh, we're back into it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to end it, this is really the time to end it. I'm very curious about the match. I'm not very optimistic about the match, and I think we'll get to Sting in a little bit here talking about that, I'm sure, and that'll say why I'm not very optimistic about this match. But I think they've earned the right to at least have the match. I don't think this is necessarily the right way to go about it because of several different factors, but this is clearly where they're going, and hopefully they get a chance to tell the story that should be told, which is quite honestly Lesnar going over.
Do we turn Lesnar heel here again? Because we're looking at the Mania feuds he's potentially involved in. I mean, if you're going Reigns or somebody like that, do we turn him back into that monster, undefeatable character here?
I kind of think that one of the things that I like about Taker Lesnar, and I'll chime in a little bit more than I normally would here since there's only 3 of us, is that it sort of reminds me of an NXT feud in that there's reasons to root for both guys.
Yes.
It's kind of a Neville Zayn situation again,
Definitely.
or what I think they're going to do with Joe Balor, which is just, they're both guys you can pick who you like and you can come up with reasons to root for either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think they're going to be stuck with Lesnar in that mold for a while now. I don't think, because there's some people that are never going to boo him after the Cole assault and then the Cadillac and the Cadillac destruction.
Yeah, just the spectacle that he is.
Yeah. And I think you can do that if he gets Reigns, or if he gets, I mean Rollins, I guess, is a whole other subject if he's still a heel by Mania next year.
God,
who else was in the mix? Yeah.
I think it was The Rock and Austin.
Yeah, well, Austin backed out, or unless he's working us. But I kind of don't think he is. I think we're ever going to see Steve Austin in the ring again.
If we do, it's not going to be against Lesnar. It's going to be against somebody who's not such a, I don't know, power heavy.
Yeah, I mean, he might come back for like something with The Rock where they do something gimmick heavy and build on their,
Yeah, or it'd be somebody who's probably smaller than him.
Or they'll just come back and squash Bo Dallas or something.
Something like that, yeah. something where he's not getting suplexed and
right,
power bombed and all that stuff, because we don't want him landing on his neck at all.
Oh no. So Alex, who do you book to go over in Taker Lesnar? Do you think who do you want and who do you think they're going to? We know who Kevin wants. Sounds like he's not sold that that's what they're going to do, though.
No, I'm not.
I don't know. I feel like it has to be Lesnar, and with Taker, who is he facing at WrestleMania? I think you got to give him some kind of caveat where he's, this wasn't me on Mania or something. I don't know, but it's Lesnar. Like, he's the guy who's around much more often. He's the guy who's been booked like this unstoppable force. It has to be him. And I'm with Kevin. I think I'm a little scared that they're gonna try to give Undertaker some kind of really big part in this. It should be Taker, in my opinion, though. Or Lesnar, pardon me.
Right.
Yeah. But
do you think we get one of the endings like Taker's matches with Michaels and Triple H, where Lesnar wins and maybe they shake hands afterwards or something?
That could definitely be a good way to do it, where you get just this really, really, I guess, hopefully not too violent, but a violent back and forth match where it feels like anybody could have won it. They get up, they shake hands, they move on. That wouldn't be a bad outcome. You save some face for Taker, you give him some respect from Lesnar, and vice versa, and it puts Taker in a spot where he can hopefully do something to put somebody over at WrestleMania next year. But it's just a struggle for me, because I can't really see how you've got one guy who's your WrestleMania guy, who's there to really promote the card and really give WrestleMania some credence. And you got to be careful not to book him in a way where he looks bad, but then Taker is the natural outcome. So, or Lesnar is the natural outcome to this match. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
So, well, one thing that we guess it isn't going to be for Taker at Mania this year. Right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be Sting, which was still a possibility for a lot of people, maybe as a double retirement match or something. So we touched on it a little bit, our sort of concerns about Taker in a Hell in a Cell match, even after taking table bumps and things at SummerSlam, or maybe especially because he did things like take table bumps at SummerSlam. What reaction do you guys have to the Sting news? I mean, what did you think of that match before you heard that Sting was injured, or after you found out he was injured? Going back to the Night of Champions match with Rollins, I'm talking about. Just thoughts on this possibly being the end of Sting's career.
I put in the live thread of Night of Champions as it was going on. This is so unnecessary. Everything about that match was there was no need for Sting to take table bumps. There's no need for him to take buckle bombs. That was just a very reckless match. I know some people were really entertained by it, and there were some legitimately entertaining spots, but unfortunately, when you do that type of match with a 56-year-old guy with a history of injuries, what we saw happen is a very high possibility, and it happened. And I really think they have to be very careful with these part-timers, especially the guys pushing 50 now. I know they say 50 is the new 40, but what is 56?
Not where wrestling's concerned.
Yeah, exactly. That's just another 10 years of ridiculous things you've done to your body.
Yeah, so I think it's a real concern that they need to go forward. They were very lucky, I will say this. Sting was hurt, and he collapsed in the middle of the ring. That could have been a lot worse. There could have been permanent spinal damage there. And I don't want to talk about, is Rollins to blame? Is he not to blame? I think everybody shares some culpability in that match for even putting those ideas out there. And I'm really worried that they'll do something like that with Taker Lesnar, and you'll see something similar. That thought's got to be there, even if you think, as safe as they tried to do it. Rollins didn't do that buckle bomb recklessly. This wasn't Hernandez border tossing somebody. This was a move that he tried to do it in a safe fashion, and things happen.
For me, I was watching that match, and I was really impressed and just kind of respectful of what they were doing, because, I mean, I imagine if you're a wrestler, you go out there, it's all or nothing. You're not going to hold punches back. That's just the mentality you probably have. And, I had a lot of respect for Sting for doing a lot of what he did. The buckle bombs, to me, were not a problem. I don't think that was an issue. That was just a freak accident. Going through the table backwards onto monitors, that was the one where I was like, why did you do that? Like, you could have done something else to establish, okay, now we're turning the tides of the match here. And just the news afterwards is just, it really sucks. You don't want to see Sting was an icon for WCW. He's always been one of the most interesting characters wrestling's ever come up with. And it just sucks that that's the way it looks like he's going out. I think if you give him some time, he may be able to come back in some fashion and just kind of, Scorpion Death drop somebody, and that's it. But, I mean, you can't put him in another match, not another literal match, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe bring him back for a little spot where he saves a babyface here and there. That's about all you can really do with him at this point, though. I don't think you can consciously put him back in the ring. And that's the scary thing, is I think most people or especially behind the scenes, are going to feel the same way I do. Well, it was a freak accident. Respect to those guys for going out there and doing that. And then they'll play it the exact same way and Taker Lesnar. And that's what I'm scared of. Is, okay, that was a fluke. This isn't going to happen again. And let's just go all out here. And it's scary. It's scary, man. You put a 50-year-old in the ring. It's a scary proposition, no matter what you're doing.
It always strikes me as weird, because one of the big things that you hear about why WWE wouldn't re-sign Kurt Angle is that, like, Vince was afraid he would die in the ring, but then he's willing to let. I mean, obviously Angle's an extreme case in terms of what his actual medical jacket says, but still, I mean, if you're going to let Brock Lesnar throw somebody against a cage and it's a 50-year-old, I don't know. It always surprises me that was the case where Vince draws the line, but everywhere else it's like, all right, then let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I'll tell you, hypocrisy is not new to WWE. I think it's very easy for them to be like, yeah, well, Kurt's Kurt, you know, but
Yeah.
Taker's not gonna have that happen.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. That's some of the culture of wrestling. Big guy, he's not gonna get hurt.
Yep.
Well, it's like he will.
You speak about the culture of wrestling too. I mean, that's the whole. I mean, if Sting, when he first got hurt, I mean, his manager says he was hurt several times throughout the match. The first time he gets hurt, he lets the ref throw up the X and they go to the finish. You know, maybe he doesn't have spinal stenosis or whatever they're talking about now. But he wanted to finish the damn match even though he couldn't feel his fucking legs. So, you know, now maybe he can never wrestle again. I don't know. It's, yeah, like Kevin said, I have a hard time putting blame on anybody because there's plenty to go around there.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if it's blame really. It's just kind of sad and unfortunate.
Yeah. Responsibility, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely a better word for it. I think there needs to be some kind of implementation where you get that, especially with an older guy or just anyone who tweaks something in a match, where they've got a way to audible to something that's going to protect whatever they hurt.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you know you can't feel your arms, there needs to be some kind of communication in the ring where you're not doing spots that are going to hit your neck or spine, where you're doing something else. If you want to keep going, okay, but you better really try to protect people because that's tricky business. I know all about spinal injuries. I had scoliosis surgery when I was 14. I've dealt with spinal problems for a long time now, and not a fun thing. You don't want any of that.
So, well, I guess maybe last thing on depressing stuff before we talk about other things. Alex, you brought this up in your email back to Kevin. Is the Daniel Bryan news that he's still, speaking again of the culture of wrestling, he seems to be chomping at the bit to get back in there, and WWE is saying no. And what are your thoughts on that? Are you interested in more Daniel Bryan, or would you rather he call it a career and stay healthy, or?
I mean, of course I'm interested in more Daniel Bryan. Like, of course you are. He's been able to put up fantastic matches and all this stuff. I think there is a certain part where, as a wrestler, if you want to keep going, even if it may risk your health in certain aspects, like, I mean, some of that's a personal decision, but part of it is also, like, you've had so many concussions. I don't know, man. If you get hurt in the ring and you really get hurt badly, that can be an issue. And I don't know if WWE would be able to clear that. I think with Bryan, if he gets to where he's healthy and you want to clear him, I think it's okay to do it, but you better be putting him in feuds where he's with guys who are, you know, they're not Ryback. They're not guys who are huge and a problem. You put him in the ring with guys like Ziggler or the guy who comes up in my head, Hideo Itami, someone like that, where you're not taking these bumps that are just going to knock you on your head as much. And I feel like, I mean, there's a way to do it. You definitely don't do it with these Hell in a Cell matches for him going on here on out. You know, and it sucks because we've discussed the Sting thing, and we're just like, you know, you just can't put him back in the ring. It's unfortunate that it happened, all this stuff. But I still want to see Daniel Bryan. Selfishly, I still want to see him. So it's rough because he's not had a match with Kevin Owens. He's not had a match with Sami Zayn. He's not had a match with Hideo Itami. He's not had a match with Finn Balor. I need to see that. I have to see that. Well,
yeah, that's kind of where I am right now in that I definitely want to see him back. But
there is one of those on YouTube, by the way. Bryan Danielson versus Prince Devitt.
Yeah, you can find a few of those matchups.
Yeah. For once, you got to say, okay, maybe WWE has a point in being apprehensive. As much as we may hate to admit it, they might have a point.
Yeah. I'd be curious what because it's unusual that that there's apparently conflicting doctors' opinions. I mean, I don't know. That makes it, if every doctor was saying no and Bryan was just saying I want to come back, then it would be much easier for me to say, yeah, no, you know, the company's actually trying to look out for you, listen to them. But since he's saying he's got a concussion expert who's saying he's okay, that lets the little devil on my shoulder who's like, I just want to see him wrestle again. That gives him some ammunition. So
yeah, I think if you do bring him back, you bring him back as a guy who works Raw only and maybe like one house show a week. You really keep his load light, and you just make sure you're putting him in the ring with guys who are going to be as safe as possible with him.
Well, I'll tell you one thing is if he comes back, somebody needs to get in his ear. I don't know if it's Bree or who it is, but there was all this talk about him changing up his style, and then he came back for that Mania run, and he was still doing the same fucking thing, missile drop kicks and diving headbutts.
No more diving headbutts, please.
Yeah, he's a submission guy too. At least he was. That was his main thing on the Indies. So get back to that. Be the mat-based guy. I know people. You became the biggest babyface in the company by doing the hot comeback stuff and the missile drop kicks and the suicide dives, but people love you anyway now, so you don't need to do those spots.
Yeah. I mean, you think about how Shawn Michaels evolved. I remember, and when I got into wrestling, I got into it in the early 2000s as a teenager, and I remember seeing a few matches of Michaels before then. He's a little more high-flying, a little more fast-paced. Now, when he was at the end of his run, it was more about staying in the ring and doing a lot of technical work, and he'd hit his big spots with the Sweet Chin Music or whatever. Do a little more like that. I mean, there's a blueprint out there where you can not just be successful, but phenomenal without doing missile drop kicks and flying headbutts. Let's find another way to do it, man. I don't want to see you in a wheelchair or something.
Yeah.
Word. All right, let's talk about happy something. Let's talk about Kevin Owens as the Intercontinental Champion.
All right.
Our dark Ryback days are behind us, hopefully.
Or are they?
Please no.
I guess that's a big problem I have with this run-up. We pretty much all of Monday night, there was no idea about what we're doing. It was entertaining wrestling for the sake of entertaining wrestling, but most of the feuds really weren't developed. We don't know what's going to happen with when Kevin Owens is going to face Ryback. We're guessing Hell in a Cell, but we don't know what's going on with that. It's just sort of treading water. It's there.
I think it was Gino on the last Cageside Live, where he was talking about how wrestling has to have three things. They have to have a story, the match, and I think it was the character or something. Yeah. And you got to have the first two before you have the match. And Raw on Monday kind of proved that. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's good to watch, but like, you're not gonna get especially into it if it's not got some kind of stakes. And that's the issue WWE's had for a while now. Is I don't know why I should care for 99% of the roster. Like, I don't know why I should care about anything Ziggler or Rusev related. I don't know why I should care about anybody seen his face recently, except Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is making you care. I don't know if he has a story though. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to with Kevin Owens. Is just, God, he's got fresh feuds that we've not had. Like, it's all going to be new. We all know that regardless of what the story is going to be, Kevin Owens is going to make the best of it. So, I mean, he's already above Ryback in that scenario. So I'm just excited because I know I'm going to get good wrestling. I'm going to get a guy who's really trying to put the feuds over, regardless of if the story's there or not. And I don't know if Ryback's got that talent.
Yeah, I don't think he does as a babyface anyway. I mean, he's the weirdest babyface ever.
They're trying to make him as this underdog face in peril, and
he's 6'3", 290.
I think Owens even said that in one of his promos. He's like, "What is this the secret bullshit about? I mean, you look at you. You don't need the power of positive thinking."
Yeah, and he's not a very good face in peril, and yes, he doesn't look the part at all.
No, he was straight up Goldberging it in the selling for Night of Champions.
Yeah,
just groaning and shaking his head.
I think the problem is he was trying to tell that story, but there was the one part he showed pain on the wrong body part, for example.
I liked the match though. That was a fun match.
Yeah, it was a good story. It was we'll get it to a sec. Better than Charlotte's No Cell, which we'll get to that as we go on. But I think with Owens, It's a very positive thing. I'm hoping they just give him a respectable run, put him in some marquee feuds, give them substantial time, and at least let him hold it to the Royal Rumble. I would let him hold it till Mania, but let's at least let him hold the belt to the Royal Rumble.
I mean, I think here's the one thing I want with Kevin Owens. I want this so badly, and they're not going to do it, and I'm already setting myself up to be let down. He needs to keep feuding with Cena, and they need to have some kind of competition. Well, I'm holding this belt better. No, I ain't. And you end up having one more match between the two. Kevin Owens wins, and right after that, Sami Zayn comes out of nowhere and takes him out. You know, that's the Mania feud is the Zayn Owens. But I mean, I don't know. You hold it for Royal Rumble or something. Cena Owens final time. Owens wins, and then the next night, here comes Sami Zayn. You know, because it puts over two guys.
Yeah.
Like you've actually got two guys you can put over with that. And I mean, you put Cena straight into a new feud, like it's totally fine. He's not going to get hurt at all by it. But you know,
I like that better than the most fantasy booking I've seen has been Zayn returns to throw Owens out of the Rumble match. So I like that better. I don't think
done so much.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna at this point let Owens go over Cena though. I think you might get something where Owens gets himself DQ'd in that Cena match, so everybody gets protected and Zayn comes back
to win it.
Yeah,
that would be good
maybe
too.
That's, yeah.
See, what I would do is I would have them both hold open title challenges for like months, and Cena's doing it the right way by having these good matches, and Owens is doing it by hand-picking guys who are lower on the roster and cheating
or walking
matches.
out of ones that get too close or whatever.
Yeah,
have him
you're
just
getting it where clearly Cena's the one that's actually doing them, but Owens is saying, "No, I'm doing them better because I can do everything better than you, John Cena."
Right.
And then you have that match. Owens cheats to win after having an amazing match because those two are bound to have an amazing match. And you know, the answering call to all of Owens cheating is Sami Zayn, who was the first guy he didn't cheat him, but you know, he was definitely brutal with him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, that'd be really fun.
Well,
put over two guys.
I can't talk objectively about Sami Zayn. I go into full markout mode, so
it's totally fine. Hey, trust me, I know all about that.
Oh, I know you do. You just wish that Finn Balor had the personality of my Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I wish Sami Zayn had the entrance and all the fun stuff that Finn Balor had.
I wish Sami Zayn had the abdominal muscles that Finn Balor has.
God, if he did, he'd be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion by now.
He would be. You're right.
I will tell you this. When I was at Raw Monday, we were talking about this before we went on the air, where I was telling you about just seeing guys for the first time, guys and girls both, where you take away all the production value, except for obviously you got this crazy production in the arena, but you don't have the commentary, you don't have these cameras cutting to people and all that. You're just watching it from a certain place, and they are all out on an island. Everyone's watching. They have to do something to get over. Both of those guys, Balor and Zayn, both, they have a way to get over. And that was one thing I noticed was at Raw 2 weeks ago. There were only a few that could really do it. And it gave me a lot of respect for Cena. Gave me a lot of respect for Sasha Banks. She was doing it. That was amazing. Sheamus did it. That was surprising to me. That was one of the first time I've actually enjoyed Sheamus. And, you know, there were a lot of guys who didn't. Ryback didn't. Big Show really did well there. He was yelling at people and stuff. You have to do something to get noise, and most people don't. And I feel good about Balor and Zayn in the fact that I know they can.
Yeah.
So I feel like they can't get messed up too badly, right? Right?
Yeah, sure, man, absolutely, yeah.
I think they'll get a reaction. Cesaro gets a reaction, and, well, of course we know what that's at, so.
Well, I think, I mean, I don't know, I've been to a few indie shows, a couple Ring of Honor shows, a Chikara show, a few things like that. I think that's, I mean, a common denominator, some of those guys you bring up, is that they came from that environment where you walk into 500 people who, you know, especially on if it's not a huge show, they're there for something to do on a Saturday night, and you got to convince them. They don't have the value of a big backstory. It's sort of a one-off match, and you've got to know how to get people engaged. And those guys learn.
I think those guys that come from smaller crowds in their background really have two advantages. One is the one you just said, and being able to get that reaction, and two is you're wrestling all the time against or around people that have seen you before. You have to do something new. You have to do something creative, and that's where we see Cesaro pulling out all these crazy moves on Monday. He never has the same match twice, and that's part of the appeal. Yep. And even Cena's been trying to mix it up lately. I mean, we give him crap for the springboard stunner, but at least he's trying something new. Like I'm okay with it in that regards.
I mean, I gave him credit when Gino and I talked, or maybe it was when Roth and I were talking about it. He didn't try the springboard stunner at Night of Champions, so
yeah,
he might actually be learning that is not something he should ever be doing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's see. So we already did the fart. We already made fart noises about Ziggler Rusev. So we'll go down.
Let's not even talk about that.
We'll go down to number 4 on Kevin's agenda, which is just. Paige turn. Paige bomb. Tanya's here.
Tanya.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late.
My God, that's Tanya Rogers music.
Yeah, can I get
I'm
entrance
interrupting like Kane.
We haven't even gotten to Roman yet.
That's great then. Continue.
There we go.
All right, we were just getting ready to talk about we jumped around a bit, I'm noticing, but we haven't talked divas yet. So we have Charlotte is champ, Paige is a heel. Right now, Natty's a big baby face. Sasha's being saved for TakeOver. How did all this work for you?
I like Natty coming in. I'm glad they're using her. It's interesting to see where they go with her and Paige. The pipe bomb, I guess that's what they're calling what Paige did.
Paige bomb, I don't know, whatever.
It kind of rings hollow to me because it's all about her. It's like, she said those things what she said, but then she followed up on SmackDown basically. She sounded a little more selfish, so I guess they're going just straight up heel with her, especially with her slapping Natty. That could be interesting, but I just don't want Natty to just fall into the groups. I kind of want the groups to break up, everybody except for Team Bad, because Sasha needs, cronies around her.
Yeah.
But everybody else, Nikki, write Nikki off, let her have a rest, and I actually like watching her at Night of Champions. I thought she was great, and I want that just like a pretty jock. And I don't think she needs her sister or Alicia Fox to do what she does. So,
No.
I agree.
I would say with this feud, I'm of two minds. Part of me wants Natty to be corrupted by Paige and they just turn into these real grizzled vets who just can't stand the newcomer shit. I don't know if that's the storyline they'll go with. I mean, I think that'd be a lot of fun with both Paige and Natty, who have been working the world for years, and they're getting a little sick of Charlotte and all the newcomers. But I understand too many. We don't want this to be a repeat of gang warfare WWF, right? Like around 94, 95 when the show was really bad. We don't want that to be this here. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Paige. I mean, I honestly think her first feud is going to be against Becky Lynch. I think that's going to be a very fun feud.
Yeah. I watched the Paige promo before today, just trying to get a recap of it. There was one person I feel like she should have called out, and she did not. That's Stephanie McMahon. Oh, you want to say this was a Divas Revolution that you are creating? No, I started that. Like, that was me. I was the first one. I don't know why you think you can just call 3 people up and take credit, but that's not how it works. And, I liked the promo. I thought it was really good. It was about time you injected something real into the Divas division. Like, a lot of it's superficial all the time and just kind of meaningless. And this one felt like a real deal. And I think you're definitely setting up for Paige Becky Lynch, which is going to be a phenomenal match whenever that happens. hopefully they don't give it away for free. I really hope they don't give it away on just a Raw. I hope they actually build it and you get 2 women's matches on a card, and that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see where Paige goes with this, because I mean you're out all alone. You've still got the groups together for the most part, and you have the Bellas as heels, you have Paige as a heel, you have Team Bad as mainly heels, I guess. I mean they're not quite as bad as the Bellas, it seems like, but then the Bellas are switching between, so who knows? But that's a lot of heels for like 3 baby faces, and I don't know where you go with that. I would not be surprised if Paige, tried to take down those other 2 groups by herself or something. That seems like the route you'd have to go, where she's, trying to take out the people who are taking credit for the Divas Revolution that she called out. A feud with Natty would be good. Feud with Becky would be good. I think if you do it, you probably go Natty first. You have her beat Natty, and then you have Paige versus Becky, and hopefully Becky goes over there. But it's fun. It's a second storyline for what's going on with Charlotte and whoever she's feuding with now. I guess Nikki still, but it's better. I still feel like they need to do something with the women's division where it's like it still doesn't feel as big of a deal as the men. I don't know. You have to do something that gets them to that exalted status that superstars are at. Where like you go into a WWE event and you feel like Cena is, he's the guy. He's the person who's going to be able to defeat anybody who comes to that screen, whether it be a fan, hopefully not any more fans jumping the railing, or I don't know, anyone other than Brock Lesnar. So I feel like they need to do something with the women where they get to that point where, oh no, these women are badass and they'll kick your ass, It's still not there yet. Hopefully it does. I can't wait for Sasha, though. She's going to get her chance soon.
Yeah, well, she's going to get another chance to blow all of our socks off with Bayley, and then we'll see what...
That is going to be perhaps the best match NXT's ever put on.
That would be pretty cool. They got to top themselves, so we'll see. Yeah, I hope that Natty doesn't get turned, just because, like you said, there aren't that many faces at the main roster level for the women. But I could see either way. I don't know. Do we want to complain about Charlotte? My big complaint is that she's the worst babyface ever. I know Kevin has a slightly different complaint. I don't know. Does anybody want to stick up for Charlotte?
I'll stick up for her.
All right. Like, why?
Because at this point, we just need somebody to matter. And Charlotte isn't like Eva Marie or Cameron. She's not even Naomi. She can go in there and she can get in a match and it can look credible. And nobody, people who aren't into women's wrestling won't be saying, "See, I told you the women suck." She can go and she's somebody credible. So I'll take Charlotte. I prefer Sasha or Becky, but I would take Charlotte because she's almost there.
I'm kind of on the Charlotte side too here.
Okay.
I think it comes with a caveat where I would prefer Becky or Sasha Banks as well. But what we need somebody who can exalt the status of the women, and Charlotte looks physically intimidating. She looks credible, and yeah. She probably got her shot because of Ric Flair's daughter, but hey, now you got a chance to work with it. Let's see what you do now. And I like, she's not a pure babyface, but she is confrontational. She gets in people's faces and starts yelling, and it creates some tension. So there's at least that. I think you probably could have done it much better, but it's not a bad outcome by any means.
I guess the thing is with me, Charlotte was always my choice to be the first one to win the Divas title, and I think it is a solid one. She does have that look. She does have all of those things, and she's surprising, and you could see it in Night of Champions. She was doing a good job selling. My problem is she all of a sudden forgets that. It seems like every match now is going to be, let's have Charlotte's leg get targeted and then no sell. And then also, I don't like how she's becoming a caricature of Ric Flair. I want her to be her own self and start wrestling some more variety in her matches. She was never going to be a Sasha or Becky, but she doesn't need to. She has an entirely different skill set that they really should be using more of. So that's where my negativity with Charlotte is. I think it's not the fact that it's not like an Eva Marie where there's zero talent there. I just think she's being misused.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on the same page there. I don't hate Charlotte or anything. I mean, not even like kayfabe hate. I just think she's a much better heel. I think she's got a natural, like her father.
I don't disagree.
Natural cockiness to her that works better as a heel, and I don't know. I feel like she's struggled with something that we saw when Summer Rae got called up. Not as bad as with Summer, but she really benefited from the people helping the women put matches together in NXT, and she misses that on the main roster, so that she can't get in there and carry somebody else to a match the way a Sasha or a Becky or a Paige can. The spear is terrible. Her whole finishing sequence, I just hate.
The spear needs to go.
The spear's not good, and natural selection or whatever they call it, they used to call it bow down to the queen. That's a cool finishing move, the flipping cutter thing. Don't do that and not the stupid figure eight. That's dumb. The figure eight head.
You can change that spear to a spine buster or something. Just a power move.
There you go. It's just little tweaks, and she's there. But you're right. I mean, she does give them. They want that Ronda Rousey cash, and she's a big, athletic, attractive blonde woman. So, and she's got a pedigree.
She looks like she could kick your ass. So
yes, she does.
I will say this with her is if you were gonna book her like they're booking her as that caricature of Ric Flair, I would book her more like face CM Punk was, where he's still kind of cocky, but he's toned it down a little bit, and you just have the heels being worse, and where you keep that confrontational aspect of her, where like, oh yeah, you want to fight, I'm here, like we can do it right now, and you have her more as a babyface in the sense that she's not cheating, she's ready to fight whenever. She's still not like the best person, but she's someone you can at least root for a fair fight with.
That's kind of like Cena.
That is like Cena. That was my first comparison. I just don't. The reason why I went with Punk instead of Cena was because I don't want the silly jokes from her.
Right.
That's not her. You just want her like, hey, I'm here. Like, you can keep talking, or you can just come down here and fight me and lose. Either way, you keep the cockiness, but you do it at a level where let's fight. Like, let's not be catty women. Come in here, fight. I'll beat you, and we'll move on. And
if she could just stop doing pinky swears with people, I would.
Stop doing pinky swears and stop wooing.
The wooing isn't going to go anywhere, though. They are.
Do you know, as a girl, I have never in my life pinky swear. Ever.
That's why we love you, Tanya. I don't know anybody that has. I don't.
That's like an elementary school thing.
I mean, I might have ironically pinky sweared with someone, like.
The only thing I could like for a plot device is if Charlotte turns heel on Becky and Becky's like, you pinky swore, and she goes, I had my fingers crossed.
Oh, yes.
That'd be good for NXT Kids or whatever that.
Oh my goodness, let's do that.
The part of me that loves like crazy, stupid pro wrestling stuff, I would love that as the basis.
Yeah.
The part of me that crazy. That Punk Cena was based on Punk's spilled diet soda.
Yeah. It's perfect. The one thing I want to see that'd be silly and wacky and just funny is if whoever beats Bayley have Izzy turn heel and support the other character.
Izzy's all the way in kayfabe, so it's possible. I mean, Bayley's wearing Izzy Mania shirts at house shows.
Man. And then whenever Bayley comes out, she turns her back. Ooh, that'd be fun.
All right, so
there's not enough fun in pro wrestling. We need to do more of that.
Absolutely. We talked about this a little. Cena, what is he doing now? Is the U.S. Open Challenge back? Is the Rollins feud continuing? I guess this sort of ties into Rollins Kane, which was the next thing on Kevin's list. Where are we going? Where are we going with any of these guys right now?
If I want to go first?
Nobody knows. Next topic.
Okay, I guess I'll take a shot at it. With Cena, like, he seems like he's in a holding pattern. Like, he has something to really, like, put somebody over, and it should be Cesaro. since Kevin Owens is already the Intercontinental Champion, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. Like, I don't know. I thought he was going to get the title at SummerSlam, so I'm kind of lost at what they're going for. Rollins and Kane. Kane's just going to put Rollins over as much as he can, and they're going to continue with the failed experiment that is Seth Rollins as the man. That has failed. We have all seen it. The ratings
and it
prove
sucks because Rollins could have been the guy if they had not.
Yeah. But
he's
that's
got all the
because Triple
talent to do
H.
it.
That's because Triple H wants a son, so they made Seth Rollins his son, and of course it's all leading to Triple H versus Seth Rollins.
Yep.
And Stephanie's gonna have to choose. I want her to take Seth Rollins' side. Actually, that would make that interesting.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I've watched the programming for like the last month, and Rollins is such a whiny basket case. Like, why are they still supporting him? Like, it's gotten to the point where I found the authority. I'm like, dude, I'll just go find someone else. I don't need you that bad.
Oh, the what's really gonna break it down is Triple H is gonna snap, and Triple H is gonna say, "Fuck, I should have chose Roman Reigns."
Yes,
That'd be great.
That would be the best moment on television ever.
Yes, it would. Oh God, they need to do that. He needs
That
to
would
say.
be the most reality era twist.
Yes, he should. He should. When they get into it, he should say, "Damn it! The only reason you're in the authority is because Roman Reigns said no."
Oh, yes. And then Ambrose and Reigns have a backstage segment, and Ambrose is like, "Why did you?"
Ambrose is like, "Wait a minute." Yeah, like Ambrose is like, "Wait a minute. We didn't have this conversation. Nobody told me about choosing. Why wasn't I asked? Am I not good enough?"
You're going to get me my ice cold beer.
I like that then Ambrose is the perpetual, he's got a chip on his shoulder for the rest of his career about not
that'd be so good,
being
though.
the only
Yes.
guy that Triple H didn't approach. I love this. Give time to the book.
Anytime Triple H tries to back somebody, he goes out there and takes them out. Should have been me, Trips.
Man.
Going back to the Cena thing just really quick, there's nothing to chew on there. I really thought they'd do some kind of U.S. Open challenge thing, but they didn't. I'm really wanting to see what happens this Monday.
I think they're just trying to resolve the Rollins Cena thing first. I hope it comes back.
See,
I
and they're in
really
this weird
hope it.
place. There was something else we talked. Oh, with the Owens thing, and Gino and I argued about this week too, where he keeps saying this Madison Square Garden show is nothing but a house show and we shouldn't consider it. But they are sort of stalling for that because Owens is going to face Jericho for the belt there. They announced that that's for the belt.
Yep.
And Cena's facing Rollins there again. So
we have to wait until that's gone.
Yeah, they're gonna
progress it.
It's not completely the main storyline, but they can't ignore it either because they're trying to sell network subscriptions off of it. So they're gonna not do anything for 2 weeks until that happens, and then they're gonna start to build Hell in a Cell. Which, yeah, exactly. It's like, why should I watch Raw then? Because
nothing's happening next week.
Right.
Man.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So who does? Okay, so we agree. Kane is a holding pattern for Seth. When does this Triple H program start?
It should be a WrestleMania thing. It should be like early January. Let's start this.
So but can we really see somebody else? He's gonna get Big Show next. Who's he gonna get next?
Oh my God!
It'll be somebody like they'll have Rollins take somebody else off. It'll be somebody who doesn't really matter. They'll probably put Cesaro against him.
Maybe Ryback.
Or maybe
Ryback would not be a bad choice.
Like maybe Kane's not a one-off. Maybe they're going to have a couple of months.
Please be a one-off.
Oh, shit.
Please, God, be a one-off.
I'm just thinking about how the WWE thinks. This is not what I want.
Please don't do that. That's bad for your health.
Gosh, 3 months of a fucking Kane feud.
Somebody coming before Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. They'll probably bring in Ambrose again. Is what they'll do.
That does seem to be their fallback. Like, we have nothing for Seth to do.
We have nothing for Ambrose to do. Hey,
the problem is the story they're telling. It dictates a WrestleMania match. Either Seth holding on to the belt until Mania and losing it to either a Roman or a Brock, or it requires him holding the belt until around the Royal Rumble where Triple H screws him, and that sets up their program. The only problem is I don't know if they can make it that far with Seth.
You want to know what I would do if I had a chance? I would book basically where the Authority turns on him at WrestleMania. I mean, like they'd already turned on him, but basically you get the Rollins Triple H match there. I would consider even doing it under the guise of like, this is a world title match. Screw you, I'm Triple H. I'm just going to be the champion again, and that'll fix all my problems.
So is Rollins a face after that? This is where I'm so confused on the Triple H Rollins.
I mean,
program.
Yeah, I guess
he's a good guy.
I guess they're both bad guys. And what you do is you end up making Rollins a de facto good guy after the fact by having, I don't know, you have Triple H cheat to hurt Rollins. You bring in somebody as the COO or whatever. He says, okay, we're going to have a new match, and I'm going to make me a new champion here. I don't know.
Bring in big-ass McStrongman.
There you go.
That'll segue into the last one.
I was thinking that.
I feel like you have to make the turn on Rollins so, like, I mean, almost gruesome, where you're just like, he's a bad guy, but, like, this is just mean.
Well,
and then
you have to make him somehow sympathetic ahead of time, which they're not doing. Every chance they've had to do that, they have Seth act like a weasel again.
Yeah. And then what I would do is, after that, you have Rollins in a match, somebody he's already pissed off before comes down and makes him lose, all this stuff, and then you have this road to redemption where he's telling people, I'm sorry, I'll try to do it the right way this time.
He cannot be redeemed until he makes it right with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Mm-hmm. We've all decided this already. He's not a face until they say so. He's not a face until they say so.
Yeah, totally. Because he was a face until he turned on them, and that's the only way to go back to square one with them is you got to find a way to get back good with them. And you don't even have to get good with them. You just have to get them to say, look, we forgive you. It's over. We're not getting back together here, but let's move on and do something else now. I don't know, man. I don't know why Rollins was ever the heel. I don't know why they.
It was shocking.
Here's another thing with WWE. Like, you can shock me, that's fine. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a reason for shocking me, it's a one-off, and then it looks terrible when we go back on. Like, sometimes being predictable is a good thing if you're telling a good story. And I don't know. Sometimes they go for the shock factor when it's like, yeah, but what do you do with this? I mean, I guess that's the Kane or the Jericho. The Jericho with Ambrose and Reigns, that's a good example. Shock value. Jericho's back. Now what? I mean, what's he doing?
Well, I'm still excited. I still want to see heel Jericho feud with Ambrose.
That will be fun. That would be
very
fun.
Happens. We don't even know if that's happening.
That's probably not.
We're over an hour, and we can actually segue into Tanya's favorite subject and let Kevin talk about huge balls early match at the same time. And here's my question too: is because the Bray feud with Roman was a way to explain why he's not trying to kill Seth Rollins, because by any kind of logic you look at it, he should still pretty much want to kill Seth Rollins. So we're now entering into like the 4th month of him chasing Bray and dealing with that. Is the addition of big ass McHuge balls, is that enough? Or I mean, how's this working for the panel here, which I know has differing opinions about Roman Reigns?
I'll go ahead and go first, and kind of surprised. This needs to get back to being Roman Reigns' story. This has not been Roman's story for the past 2 months, and I think he's really suffered for it. He's a bit player in this story. First, it was Ambrose coming back to save him. Then they brought out big-ass McStrongman. And then it was who's his mystery partner is going to be. Now it's once again who's his mystery partner going to be. I think this feud is not doing Roman any favors. They need to get back to making it Roman Reigns' story. And in regards to Strowman, I think Braun is the new MacGuffin for the WWE. He's whatever you need him to be. Insert him wherever you need him to, and big ass McStrongman will make it.
I think they finally found another Kane with him. a guy who's never really going to be a title holder, but he's going to be that monster you needed.
I hope that one day Big Ass McStrongman is the COO or whatever, the director of
that'd be so
operations.
good.
He has to come out with the clean-shaven face and everything.
With
and
the coffee mug.
Corporate big ass.
Operations.
Oh Lord.
All right, Tanya.
Let's hear about the Reigns mark here, Tanya.
Yeah,
what do you think about this?
Because I actually disagree with Kevin, but I'm going to let you disagree with him first if you want.
Well, okay. It's
I'm a
still
gentleman.
Roman. It's still Roman's story, and I think the fact that he's a big player is kind of helping him. That he's not in the center of attention. That they're not making him look really strong, and he's actually making somebody else look strong. I think that's helping him. Like, he actually got a babyface reaction at the last pay-per-view. I know, like, you have to take into account where they are, especially with him, because if it was New York, they still would have shitted on him. But other crowds, non-smarky crowds, are starting to get behind him, and that's why I want Bray to win. I want Bray to do something to this man so that people can stop saying he doesn't have a character.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. The Roman Reigns thing, it was always his story, and basically they put Ambrose with him as a. Originally, remember when it happened, everybody said, "Yeah, it was just to make sure people don't boo him." And this story has basically been, all right, we're back with the Wyatts because they won't leave us alone, and then they bring in Big Ass Strowman, and now the Wyatts actually, for the first time in forever, look like legitimate heels. They look dangerous again, and you've got two baby faces who have no idea how to get out of the situation. This is like one of the only stories on the roster that has actually been told competently.
Yes.
You know? And the only way this works is if you do something to these two baby faces to where they have to find a way to pull a Cena and overcome the odds and figure something out. I would love to see them do it alone. I don't know if I really want anyone helping them. I want them to find a way to do it themselves, and it would just increase the Ambrains / fictions and all that stuff. But, like, I mean, come on. Those two have been hand in hand together from the very beginning. Like, this is how it should end up. I think what you do is you have the Wyatts take out Ambrose or something, and Reigns comes to the rescue and just can't get there in time or something, and that's where maybe you get that Hell in a Cell match with with Reigns and Bray.
Reigns should snap and start stalking them, and then he takes out Luke Harper because he's done that before, and then you take out Big Ass, and then you say, okay, Bray, let's get in the cell, let's finish this, and we kill each other, and whoever comes out, it's over after that. We have to move the fuck on.
We gotta move on, yes.
Yes. Jesus.
That's the one thing WWE does where either they have something good and they don't know when to move on, or they just don't know how to get something good. And this has been good, and they need to find a way to escalate it to the point of it's just Bray and Roman, and then you move it on after that.
Yep.
I think you definitely are hit the nail on the head with we got to do something to get Roman over completely here. And, I remember back when the Roman Reigns fiasco was going on, and he wasn't my first choice by any means. He wasn't even close. But he's gotten so much better in the ring, and his character seems to have at least somewhat solidified. And he still does cheesy, stupid things every now and then. But he is not the worst. He's not the worst situation. And WWE just needs a star. Like, they just need somebody. And, God, if you can get him over to become a star, like, I'm fine with it. Let's just get something.
You want to know how you're going to get him over?
I'm
Roman Reigns versus Luke Harper for the next month.
I'll do it.
Those guys are so good together.
They really are.
Yes, they are.
They remind me almost of Samoa Joe and Kalisto from a couple weeks ago, where it's just like, damn, man, these two just kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just do something to get someone over, because there's been too many 45 to 50-year-olds in the ring for so long now. I mean, it used to be it never used to be, but it should be a thing where when you bring somebody back, it's just one guy, and it's just for this one pay-per-view, and we move on. And it's been, for the last several, it seems like someone's back for something every pay-per-view. And it's just like, enough, man. I get it. I've seen these guys before. Show me someone new, please.
And yeah, I know you guys talked about it, but I just wanted to touch on the match, the Rollins versus Sting match.
Mm-hmm.
I was so pissed. Whoever agents did that match, why the hell? Okay, let's not take the 29-year-old who can take all these bumps.
Exactly.
He can do them. Let's not have him do it.
That's exactly what I talked about earlier.
Let's have the 56-year-old man. I was so upset.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll never watch it again. Like,
yeah, that's true.
what the hell was that?
That's got no replayability. Everyone knows.
Yeah, yes, I just had to get that out.
Part of the whole Seth as a heel problem is that he's not fun to watch.
His best
methodically pick people apart. He should get his ass kicked, and then he should have a high flying comeback.
Yes.
And whenever with his whole title reign, that never happens. Or it happened in the one scene. It happened in the SummerSlam Cena match for some reason.
I still want an Ambrose heel turn. That would have been the better choice. But
yeah,
that would be a good one for
Roman. I really like babyface Dean, but at some point he's gonna.
It's too cheesy, and like he's fun because he gets on the mic and you really believe him. But God, he's so much better as a darker, in between the heel character. They need to go that. That could be another thing you do to Roman.
Well, at some point, I think, I mean, one of those guys, it's wrestling, one of those guys is going to turn on the other one.
Yeah, and I think if you turn Ambrose, you basically say it like, look, I mean, it's over, man. I don't know why we've been holding on to this for so long. Like, I mean, call yourself my friend or not, but it ain't working. Bye.
I like Tanya's thing. I want Roman to be, the more Roman silent badass we can get is better. And then the occasional dorkiness is good. But for the most part, he needs to be a killer. He wears the paramilitary stuff. He shouldn't be telling me nursery rhymes. He should be killing fools.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I was going to say to Kevin, I hear what you're saying about how he's become a bit player in this, but I think he's in a place where he would lose either way. If he wasn't the bit player, people would be bitching about that.
Yep.
So, and it's sad that he got pushed to the Rumble last year because it's not sad because we got a great Mania match. We got the great match with Bryan. I don't know. It's just one of those pro wrestling stories.
For him because they had
it's just weird, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He'll get through it. He's a big boy.
Yeah, I mean he's organically getting there now.
And it was one of WWE's problems. They didn't tell a proper story. It was way too artificial.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody really wanted to see it, and it's either that, and nobody gets over and they complain, so they bring back old stars, and then we complain about them because we've seen them and they get hurt and all that stuff. So then it's just a vicious circle of improper booking and old guys who can't go anymore. So. Yeah.
It's also ridiculous that they're doing this now as opposed to, I wasn't watching it 2010, but I'm sure they weren't bringing back old guys every other month. The roster they have, the talent they have, it makes no sense why they keep bringing these guys. It's just ridiculous. Everybody knows. It's just ridiculous.
In 2010, they just brought back The Rock. That was it.
Yeah.
They didn't bring back everybody else. Well, they didn't have this deep of a roster though. It sort of made sense when those guys did it. They didn't. Yeah. They weren't 16 people deep, and they didn't have NXT behind them. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would make more sense back then if they were doing it. Like they don't need these guys. These guys aren't drawing anymore. It's the truth.
Do you remember WrestleMania 30? You remember how it was? You brought back. Let's look at it for real. You brought back 5 old guys that I can remember. This is the proper way to do it. You had Austin, Rock, Hogan in the ring, had their little curtain call. It was fun. It was cute. They weren't wrestling anybody. Everybody had a chance to see them again. That was cool. And then you had, God, who was it?
You had the Outlaws get squashed.
Yeah, you had the Outlaws.
Right.
Squashed them.
That was beautiful.
That's how you do it.
Right.
You bring them back. You build them up to look like a threat for like 2 weeks, and then you just crush them. That's how you do it. Why are we doing it with Kane? Where now he's like taking people down inside the ring, and what the hell does that even mean? Like, and then you show Rollins running off on YouTube. Like, what the hell, man?
Rollins was more afraid than Brie Bella.
Yet another reason Brie Bella sucks.
She was at least kicking, though. Rollins was
I've spent 2 years getting that image of Brie acting out of my mind. And now thanks, Tanya.
That wasn't getting out of anyone's mind.
Come on, Nikki!
Come on, Nikki!
Come on, Nikki!
I once with a friend, I was getting him a recap of that match.
Worse? What's
and
more?
I wanted. Hang on. I'll just tell the story with the Come On, Nikki. I was talking with a friend once, giving him a recap of one of those matches. And every 20 seconds, I would start screaming, "Come on, Nikki!" And finally, he's like, "Dude, that's annoying as shit." I'm like, "Now you know how I felt watching that match."
It's what's worse, "Come on, Nikki," or "How you doing?"
How you doing?
Gino thinks
Oh my
thinks
God.
that's great feeling.
He thinks it's good healing because it's purposely being terrible by shouting the exact same thing over and over as a time.
Oh no.
Well,
Is
Bree is
it,
responsible for
here's
two of my favorite. Bree has "Come on, Nikki," and she also has "Say It to My Face," which is what she did all over AJ's or whatever. Say it to my face. She's right there. She is. Shut up.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when everybody was? I think it was when Daniel Bryan was getting hot. Everybody was like, "Isn't Bree getting so much better? Isn't she just better at this?"
About that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're wrong sometimes. You know, it's all right.
Occasionally.
We thought
There
Dolph
is
Ziggler.
definitely a hive mind going on with the
Oh, absolutely.
internet wrestling community.
We get it. We fuel each other's fire every once
Yes,
in a
we
while.
do.
All right, gang. Closing thoughts.
Lucha Underground Season 2 is going to be dope.
Only, 5 more months or something, probably? Something like that.
What else are we to talk about in WWE? I don't think, as you said, they're waiting until the MSG show to actually build anything. There's nothing more to talk about.
We can talk NXT.
Yeah, you got to take over Respect.
Yeah.
Which should be pretty cool.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's my closing thought. Make sure you watch Banks versus Bailey. Whatever you have to do to watch that match, whenever it happens.
That whole show should be pretty good because you're going to get the kickoff of Joe Balor one way or the other. You're going to cry your eyes out when Cody and Dustin come out. And
That was very smart how they did the Joe Balor thing so that there's not a title match. There is literally no other way they could have main evented. Like, you gave yourself the complete correct booking. If there was ever time to main event two women, you made sure you did it. So that was smart. It'll be good. It'll be a good thing when they do it with actual men on the roster. But this is a good first step.
yeah, it's baby steps. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got. That's what the goal is. I caught myself thinking about it, and I was like, if Balor's on the card, he has to be the main event because he's the men's champion. I was like, well, why is that? It's because the men have always been booked to be more important. So let's stop doing that. Let's book the women like they actually matter. And, they're starting to do that. So that's good. At least in one place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be crying as soon as the bell starts. Because as a little girl, seriously, as a little girl, I never thought, I know it's just NXT and people like, oh, it's developmental. It's still a wrestling show. And women do not main event, specials. And I'm getting choked up now, so it's great.
They drew 15,000. They're not developing.
Hey, it's at this point, I'll argue with anybody. NXT is the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world. So
it's great.
I mean, they might be owned by the same company, but that's the genius.
They are their own brand.
Marketing genius. He has created an in-house competitor, and we all bought it, and it's great. So
it's funny how we have these conflicting emotions for certain people, right? Like, we love Triple H for how great he's done with NXT, but then he does stupid shit on the main roster, and we're just like, okay, put your ego back in your pants. Like, we're done, dude. Just go, please. Stop talking.
He tears me up.
Just let him handle the women because he's not sexist. He's not threatened by a woman being powerful. I think that's his thing. He likes powerful women. He prefers powerful women.
Well,
so just let him handle it.
He prefers powerful women, and I will tell you from experience that raise a girl child and see how your entire world view changes, unless you're just an asshole. But if you have daughters, your whole world changes. You view things differently. He's got, how many does he have? 3?
Just 3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's gonna take care of women's wrestling just fine.
Yes, he is.
So what
I
have one thing I want to talk about real quick. I had there was in a thread, I can't remember when it was a couple days ago, we were talking about with Vince and basically how long he's got left. How long do we think he has left?
Who was it, Jericho or The Rock or somebody a couple years ago who said they figured he'd still be around for another 10 to 15 years?
Me too.
I disagree. I don't think that's the case.
You think he's going to retire, or you think?
I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's going to be forced to retire either through health issues or something. Because this is just. He seems so wrong with this stuff.
We got 50 more years of Vince, guys. He's going to clone himself.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. But here's the one thing I'm scared. I'm like, I don't want it to happen, but his father died what age he is now. And he's been flying across the country for decades now, doing all this stuff, getting no sleep. How long until he has some kind of health complications? Because this is a legitimate thing to think about, because I don't know how long he's got.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the two sides of the coin are, one is he has an incredibly stressful life and apparently has never liked to sleep. But on the other hand, he's like the healthiest human being ever. I mean, because he just does nothing but eat salad and work out or something and drink protein shakes.
Ooh, man. I don't know. It's going to be crazy whatever happens there, whenever it happens.
I mean, just imagine the Raw tribute shows and the stuff.
Oh my God, it'd be a month.
Yeah.
It'd be a month.
A full solid month.
and think about it, speaking of conflicting emotions about when that guy goes. I mean, you're going to mourn him, but man, even his track record's weird.
Yeah. He has these wonderful moments, and then he has stuff during the middle of the year where you're just you just want the guy to go away.
He's a metaphor of the human condition as a whole.
There you go.
So many good things, so many bad things, and it's all part of one mosaic.
Yep.
I mean, we might, maybe we'll find out what was in that briefcase that he gave to the people who were the cops that were interviewing Jimmy Snuka in '83. I mean, geez.
Oh my God. That'll be something, man.
Stupid real world stuff getting in the way of my fake fighting.
Yep.
Hate it. All right, gang. Well, not bad. We managed to go forever with three guys and then a run-in by Tanya.
I am the Kane of Cageside.
No, you're way better than Kane.
Nice podcast you're having there.
Be ashamed if someone interfered.
Better promo.
I can't even get the meme right. God darn it. All right, everybody. This is Cageside Speaks. We'll be back. I don't know, maybe soon. I don't know. We're trying to figure that out, but we will be back. And if you want to join us, say something in the comments down here, and Kevin will get you on the list and deal with it.
Also in the